It's taken me over 25 years of experimentation with skincare and beauty products, but a few years ago I finally found a special formula that does exactly that. Yes, it is possible to reverse the signs of aging, in particular sagging and deflated skin. First, I do want to point out I have been using only skincare for the last 27 years. I've never done plastic surgery, I've never done fillers, I don't do lasers, I've never done microdermabrasion, and the last time I went to a spa was actually exactly 7 years ago. Hi, I'm Desi Stark. I have been experimenting with luxury skincare, beauty and fashion products for the last 27 years of my life. I've always been very interested in skincare, and I've been taking really good care of my skin for as long as I can remember, ever since I was 21, 22, so almost 30 years now. But although I had been using very good and expensive products for a very long time, about 7-8 years ago, I started noticing that my skin is slowly kind of starting to sag or getting very deflated. This picture was probably taken about 8 years ago or so, and up until that point I had been using, once again, only good, really extremely good skincare. Now unfortunately the trick is not only to use good skincare. There's a combination of a few different things that I wasn't properly doing. And it's between a special formula of a few ingredients that you have to kind of consistently using plus one device. Now anything else you use in addition to the 5 mandatory things that I'll be discussing with you today, anything else you use is obviously welcome, it's not going to hurt you. But these 5 things are absolutely mandatory. This is pretty much the secret recipe that I'm sharing with you today on how to lift your sagging skin. Let's start with ingredients and products first. There's 3 active ingredients in skincare that you absolutely cannot miss out on. And ever since I started combining them in a proper way and using them consistently every day, I saw immediate results. I call these 3 active ingredients the 3 tenors of skincare, or the 3 kings, because they truly are. Not to mention help with lines and wrinkles and pretty much all the biggest concerns that I had 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago even. Let's start with peptides, and I don't just mean any peptide serum. I've talked about peptides a lot before, and there is a reason why I talk about peptides, because I have found out that most peptide serums on the market are absolutely useless. In order for a peptide to be actually effective to your skincare regimen, and especially to anti-aging, it needs to contain the right concentration of peptides, and it needs to have a variety of peptides. There's 4 different groups of peptides, and you need to have a representation of each one of those groups. I'll attach the 2 videos that I've previously made. One is on the guide of peptides and how to buy the right peptide and why, and also I did recently made a video on the 10 best peptides. And as I mentioned before, I have tried at this point over 100 different peptides, and I found 80% of them, over 80% of them, to be absolutely useless. And I realized that when I used for the first time the Crosslift Ultra Peptide Serum by MBR. That was probably about 6-7 years ago. Yeah, that serum is something very special. A few years ago, Alter was born, which is a direct competitor to MBR. And a few years ago, I started using the Line Serum by Alter, which is a very close formula of the Crosslift Serum by MBR, but at a great discount. And yes, this thing is probably my most talked about item. And for this price, I don't think that you can actually get anything better on the market. Now, I did find another serum by Maylove. It's the Peptide Squad. That serum is actually an affordable item, and it's a pretty good quality considering that it's still an affordable skincare item. Now, I also saw a result from the Density Cream. This is the only cream that's giving me an immediate result, especially when I combine it with the Line Serum. Alter is a brand that was created predominantly for that. They don't have a lot of products, but they have products that cater to people like me. People that need a lift in their skin, they need firmness of their skin, because everything's packed with a lot of very active ingredients at a very high concentration level. And you need that because once you get that in your product, everything starts starts working very, very quickly. In order to create that density in your skin, you need your cells to turn over at a faster rate, and that's exactly what peptides do. But they have to be diversified, and they also have to be at a high concentration level. I say don't touch any peptide serums that are below 3%. I don't even touch anything below 5% of concentration. There's a lot of peptide serums out there at 1%, 2%. They don't do anything. The last few months I have been also using OneSkin, and I do have to say this actually helps. If you need a reset of your skin, you need this first. This removes senescent cells or zombie cells, and these are excess cells that are just taking real estate, and they're preventing from new cells to be born because they just don't have the space. This is a patented peptide, and it makes space for your new cells to be born, and thus your cells start to turn over a little quicker once you start introducing the really good peptide ingredients. Second active ingredient is a good growth factor. I've tried a variety of growth factor serums within the last 10-15 years, ever since they started becoming a little bit more famous in skincare. When it comes to my growth factors, I do prefer organically sourced. I've tried a bunch of growth factors that are made in a lab, sourced in a lab. They just don't do anything. I have been talking about calcium for a while now, and there is a reason why. This is definitely the best growth factor on the market. So calcium holds a bunch of patents on their sourcing of the growth factors, and the stem cells are actually coming from the cord lining of a mammal. This is the professional serum. This is a highly concentrated stem cell serum. This is so concentrated you need like 2-3 drops. Usually add it to another serum that I'm using in the morning and just spread it all over my face, and that works fine. These are two other products by calcium. This is the Recovery Night Complex, and by the way, this is a serum that doesn't contain anything that prevents you from using it in the morning. You can, or you can use the multi-action cream. So this product is definitely far superior to any other growth factor on the market, and I think this is probably one of the products that kind of accelerated my lift of my skin and kind of the density that I created. And obviously these two as well. The third ingredient is retinoids. And it doesn't really matter if you're using tretinoin, which is the prescription strength, or retinol, retinol. It really doesn't matter. Quite honestly, I started with tretinoin 5 years ago. I think for the first 3 years, I was at such a minimal strength, 0.01%, which is not 1%, by the way. It's 0.01%. I mean, it's barely there. The only company that can do that is actually Curology. If you're to go and buy over the counter retinol, you can get it below 0.03. I was at 0.01. It was still kind of working, but obviously not enough to give me the boost of densifying my skin. So yes, retinoids a must. You have to be consistent. You have to start slowly so you can get to a point that you can use it every day. But tretinoin and retinoids, it's not enough. Whoever tells you that there are inexpensive ingredients out there that can change your skin and it's tretinoin, yes. Is it enough though? No. And I think on that list that I just made, the most important ingredient is not tretinoin. That's why I'm putting it in third place. If anything, for sagging and density of your skin, peptides and growth factors are actually a little bit more important. But once you combine the three of them, now you have music happening. Now you have the full orchestra. That's why I call them the three tenors. I did mention in the beginning of the video that there's one device and one device only that you need. Now I technically use two. I use microcurrent device and I use occasionally an LED mask. And out of the two, although they do function in a very similar way, I do suggest that you actually get a microcurrent device. And here I have two. I have the NuFace microcurrent and I have the Zip nanocurrent. I started my journey with the NuFace because back then, 6, 7, 8 years ago, Zip wasn't born yet. But this actually gave me significant results. Now you have to be very consistent with using this device, especially in the beginning. For the first 30 days, you have to use it every day. And then you can kind of switch to 3-4 times a week. And then I discovered the Zip device about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. And now I'm only using the Zip device because it's a little bit smaller. And I feel like it works here a little bit better just because it's smaller. So it can give me very good contact with this area. So to firm up this area here. But also this is a little bit stronger. I feel it being a little bit more effective than the new face because I'm noticing that I'm only using nowadays this once a week, and sometimes I even skip weeks, to be quite honest. But I think I only started skipping weeks or using it once a week once I had my everything lifted and sculpted and I got my skin to a condition that I wanted it to be. And now it's pure maintenance. This device works two ways. So the way that microcurrent functions is it encourages the mitochondria of your cells to kind of jumpstart your ATP, and the ATP is the energy output of the mitochondria. When the ATP jumps, or the energy, now your cells have more energy. So what happens to us when we have more energy? We start doing everything a little bit faster, and we go through our life and our processes a little bit faster, and we can execute on more functions. And it's the same actually with your cells, right? You give them a little bit more energy, they start functioning a little bit faster, they start dividing a little faster, so everything starts moving a little bit quicker. The quicker your cells start to divide, then the more cells you have, and in order for that lift to happen, you need more density of your skin. And that's exactly what microcurrent does. Now, LED devices actually function in a very similar way. They also charge ATP of the mitochondria of every cell. But microcurrent devices give you a second thing that LED masks cannot, because these also work on your muscle. You have muscles all over your face, right? So because of the touching of your face and the massage that you're giving with these little balls, you kind of training your muscles actually to tighten as well. So that's why I suggest microcurrent device for lifting and firming rather an LED mask. LED masks also great for speeding up the function and jump starting the energy of your cells. Same function, but LED masks are also great for brightening your skin because it's light, so it works on the surface of your skin as well. They're both great, but this one is a little stronger. It will get you there a little faster, and also it's lighter and cuter. These four things, when you do them consistently on a daily basis, they work effectively to promote cell turnover and cell division. Once that starts happening, now all of a sudden you're going to start seeing a little bit more shedding. In the beginning, you may also observe a little bit of purging of your skin. That's completely normal. And by the way, you want that. That means that there's more dead cells now that are being pushed over to the upper layer of your epidermis. And that's why the fifth thing that you need to do is exfoliate. I exfoliate absolutely every morning. I use lotion P50 1970. You can use lotion P50. You can use any other chemical exfoliant that you like, but you have to do that, because if you didn't know, the upper 12-15 layers of your skin are actually dead cells. And once you start using these three beautifully active ingredients and you start using the device, your cells will start moving a little bit quicker, and you may even get to 20 layers of dead cells. So you have to remove them because you want to make space for the new cells underneath to be born. And of course, once you start exfoliating, you'll have smoother skin, you'll have more glow, you'll have more brightness, your texture will disappear, your foundation will look a little bit better. You can of course go to a physical exfoliation, which is actually device. Remember the Clarisonic? I think Foreo makes a really good one as well. You actually technically need to pick one or the other one. You don't need to do both. When you're doing physical exfoliation, I do not recommend that you do it more than twice, 3 times a week. You can also use a product. There's a face wash that has the little bits, the little things inside, and that polishes the dead skin cells away as well. You can also use the Dermaflash, which is technically shaving your face. Doesn't only exfoliate, but it also removes kind of the peach fuzz that we all have. So if you want your foundation to sit better on your skin, if you want to have smoother skin, especially when you're applying your makeup, then I definitely do recommend every 6 months or so, you may want to use the Dermaflash and kind of exfoliate and shave the peach fuzz off of your face. But chemical or physical exfoliation is a must. I found that these are the 5 things that absolutely worked for me to have a more kind of lifted, the sagging is gone. So try it. Let me know if you have questions, drop them down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.